Something that is extremely common that Andrew and myself find with patients is stiffness in the neck. So we carry a lot of stress and tension up here. Andrew will be taking Sam through a really easy mobilization movement patterning technique to improve Sam's range of motion.
So here we have Sam Spielberg, our Director of Photography. Now, Sam is always hunched over his computer work, and Sam's always working pretty hard on a lot of visual things. In a sense, we are hunter-gatherers, remember, and that means we are supposed to have a variety of movements in our necks. Our necks are made to move in many directions. So, Sam, if I can get you just to look to your left as far as you can look, good, and then to the right. Good, a little bit stiff, there should be better range than that. Sam's sitting in relatively good posture, relatively upright. Now, one of the things we see here is Sam's head is going to be forward of his lower cervical spine, which is what this is down here. So he's constantly forward of that. We really need to bring the head into a position where it's back over the spine in its natural, what we call lordosis. So Sam's sitting up a little bit taller again. Good, now what I want you to do is look back to the ceiling as far as you can possibly look. Good, and then back to the center again, that position. I want you to do that 10 times. Looking back to the ceiling now, Sam's head, it weighs approximately 8 kilograms. That's about the normal human head. Because this 8 kilograms is sitting forward of the cervical spine, of the cervicothoracic area especially, it then actually increases its effective physical weight upon the lower cervical spine. By looking back, Sam here is putting 8 kilograms behind the cervicothoracic junction. This is actually self-mobilizing. He doesn't need me to do this for him, he can do this himself. About 2 more would be great there, Sam. 1, great. There is nothing wrong with looking up. We used to do this as hunter-gatherers. Good, now he's just mobilized his spine. Now get you to look around to your left again as far as you can feel. Good, and then to the right again. All right, that range has improved a bit. Now, that range improved without me having to push on his joints to him to stretch anything. Basically, that was simply him putting 8 kilograms behind the axis of rotation of the lower cervical spine. So the joints here are a little bit more horizontal. In the lumbar spine, the joints are very vertical. They make you move forward and backwards. Necks rotate a lot more than lumbar spines, which don't have a whole lot of rotation. So rotation is a natural movement that we should have. Looking backwards, it's natural. As a hunter-gatherer, you had to look upwards at the eagles and perhaps the vultures in the sky. You had to climb trees. There were things we did which made us look upwards. People seem to be a little bit scared of looking upwards. Your spine will not go to a position that it won't naturally be able to do. The body is allowed to move through full ranges of motion, and we should in fact be putting all joints in the human body through a full range of motion every single day. That's going to keep the joints lubricated, and that's going to make your body remember how to move, and that will keep you from getting some imbalances. So simple movement, looking back 10 times, a couple of times a day is great. And if you wish to, that's it, Sam, beautiful. That's it, and then the opposite side. Now, this is not a stretch. This is simply mobilizing. We're not looking to say how am I stretching the other side. That's simply gliding the joints on either side of the neck. By gliding it, this also improves rotation. You can do it as Sam's doing it, alternate sides, or you can do 10 one way and 10 the other. That's good. And finishing it off, we'll just get you to rotate and look to your left and right again as far as you can go. That's really improved it beautifully. That's a heap better. So it's interesting, the lateral flexion movement, because of the shape of the joints that we have here, glides the joints backwards. It's your face that actually rotates to stay facing forward, but your neck is actually rotating backwards. Your cervical spine is actually rotating backwards when you do lateral flexion. These are natural physiological movements that the body does, but we don't do enough during our daily lives. So we need to add some extension in, we need to put some lateral flexion in, not as stretches, just as mobilizers. So Danny, that's the way I like to attack a human body where there's stiffnesses. I like to just simply attach the normal physiological movements that as hunter-gatherers we should be performing every day, but we seem to have forgotten in our daily lives.
Beautiful, no stretches needed there. It was
None
evident.
at all. Just
fantastic.
some mobility work.
So if you like what you see, guys,
You can click over here. There, here, just there.